Carlos, quick question. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt something really strongly, but you just couldn't find the right English words to express it?
Oh, absolutely. Last week, actually, my friend canceled our plans at the last minute, and I wanted to say more than just, I'm sad, but my brain went blank. I stood there like, uh, yeah, not great.
See, that's exactly why today's lesson matters. We're not just learning vocabulary, we're learning how to actually communicate what's happening inside you. And hello, everyone. Welcome to English Naturally. I'm Maya.
And I'm Carlos. If this is your first time here, we focus on real English for real life, not textbook phrases, not robotic sentences, just genuine conversation skills that actually work.
Today, we're diving deep into emotions. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly how to express what you're feeling, understand what others are feeling, and have natural conversations about emotions without freezing up or using the same three words over and over.
And here's the thing, talking about emotions isn't just about vocabulary, it's about connection. When you can clearly express how you feel, people understand you better. Relationships improve, miscommunication drops dramatically.
Exactly. So, if you're ready to level up your emotional vocabulary and sound more natural, more authentic, and more fluent in English, hit that subscribe button and let's jump in.
All right, let's start with something super practical. Maya, what's the number one mistake you notice when learners talk about emotions?
Hands down, using the same basic words repeatedly. Everything is either happy, sad, angry, or good. But English has this incredible range of emotional vocabulary that makes your communication so much richer.
Right. Imagine you're talking to a friend who just got promoted at work. You could say, I'm happy for you, which is fine. But what if you said, I'm thrilled for you, or I'm so proud of you? Completely different impact.
Huge difference. Happy is vanilla ice cream. It's good, it's safe, everyone likes it. But thrilled is like chocolate fudge brownie with caramel swirl. Way more specific, way more memorable.
I love that analogy. Okay, so let's break down the emotion spectrum starting with positive feelings. We'll go from mild to intense, and I want you listening at home to notice how the intensity changes with each word.
Perfect. Let's start with satisfaction and contentment. These are calm, peaceful, positive emotions. Carlos, when was the last time you felt genuinely content?
Yesterday evening, actually, I finished all my work, cooked a simple dinner, and just sat on my balcony watching the sunset. No phone, no distractions. I felt content, peaceful, like everything was exactly as it should be.
Notice how content is different from happy. You're not jumping up and down, but there's this deep satisfaction, this quiet pleasure. Another beautiful word for this feeling is serene. I feel serene when I'm near water. Lakes, oceans, even fountains. There's something about water that creates this inner calm.
Serene. That's a sophisticated word. If you use it in conversation, people immediately recognize you have a strong vocabulary. Now, let's increase the intensity of it. What about when something good happens, but it's not life-changing? Maybe you find a parking spot right in front of the store, or your favorite song comes on the radio.
That's when I'd say pleased or delighted, like, oh, I'm so pleased that worked out. It's more than content, less than ecstatic. It's that warm, satisfied feeling when things go your way.
Exactly. And here's a useful phrase structure. I'm pleased about noun or I'm pleased that clause. For example, I'm pleased about the weather today or I'm pleased that you could join us.
Now let's jump to higher intensity. When something genuinely exciting happens, you get concert tickets, you receive unexpected good news, you're about to go on vacation. What do you feel?
Excited, but here's where it gets interesting. Excited has cousins that express slightly different flavors of that energy. You can be thrilled. That's excited with an extra punch. I'm thrilled about this opportunity.
Or ecstatic, that's maximum excitement, like you can barely contain yourself. When I found out I got the job, I was absolutely ecstatic. I literally jumped around my apartment.
Did you actually jump?
I actually did. My downstairs neighbor probably thought I'd lost it, but that's ecstatic. It's physical, it's explosive, it's pure joy.
Love it. And then there's elated, which is similar to ecstatic but sounds slightly more refined. She felt elated when she crossed the finish line. You'd use this more in writing or formal speech.
Here's a pro tip for everyone. When you want to intensify any emotion word, use absolutely or completely before it. I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm completely delighted. I'm totally ecstatic. This makes your English sound more natural and emphatic.
That's bold. Now, we should talk about an emotion that's super common but often misused. Bored versus boring. Maya, explain this one because I've heard it messed up 1,000 times.
Okay, this is crucial. I am bored means you feel boredom. I am boring means you create boredom in others. Huge difference.
Right. If you say, I am boring, you're saying you're an uninteresting person. What you probably mean is, I am bored. You feel boredom because the situation is boring.
Same pattern applies to other emotions. I'm interested versus I'm interesting. I'm confused versus I'm confusing. The ed ending describes your feeling. The ing ending describes what causes that feeling in others.
Perfect explanation. So if a movie doesn't engage you, you say, I'm bored. And you can also say, this movie is boring. The movie creates the boredom, you experience it.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and talk about negative emotions, because here's the reality. We need these words. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and being able to express discomfort, frustration, or sadness clearly is actually a sign of emotional intelligence.
Absolutely. And in English-speaking cultures, it's generally okay to express negative emotions appropriately. You don't have to always say, I'm fine when you're not. Let's start with sadness and its variations.
Sad is the basic word, right? But depending on the intensity, you might feel down, low, blue, dejected, heartbroken, or devastated. Each one tells a different story.
Break those down for us. Start with the milder ones.
Sure, I'm feeling a bit down today means mildly sad, low energy, not your usual self. I'm feeling blue is similar. It's a gentle, almost poetic way to say you're sad. Americans use this a lot. I've been feeling blue since my friend moved away.
Then you've got dejected, which adds an element of disappointment or defeat. After failing the exam, he felt completely dejected. There's a sense of having your spirits crushed.
And at the extreme end, heartbroken is for deep emotional pain, usually related to relationships or loss. She was heartbroken when her dog died. Devastated is even stronger. It's like emotional destruction. The community was devastated by the news.
Heavy words, but necessary. Now, let's talk about anger and its family, because this is where precision really matters. There's a massive difference between being annoyed and being furious.
Huge difference. Let's build the scale. At the bottom, you have annoyed or irritated. These are minor frustrations. I'm annoyed that my phone keeps dying, or I'm irritated by this constant noise.
Next level up, frustrated. This is when you're trying to accomplish something, but obstacles keep blocking you. I'm so frustrated with this software. It keeps crashing right when I'm about to save my work.
Then, angry. This is straightforward, clear displeasure. I'm angry that you didn't tell me about the meeting. It's direct, it's serious, but it's not explosive.
Moving up, mad. In American English especially, mad and angry are often interchangeable, though mad can sound slightly more informal. Don't make me mad is very common in casual speech.
Then we hit the intense zone, furious and enraged. Furious means extremely angry, like you're burning with anger. She was furious when she discovered the deception. Enraged is even more violent. It suggests you might lose control.
And here's a really useful phrase, I'm fed up with something. This means you've reached your limit with a repeated annoyance. I'm fed up with this traffic. I'm fed up with these excuses. It's perfect for expressing accumulated frustration.
Love that one. I use it constantly. I'm fed up with my computer freezing. Now let's talk about fear and anxiety, because these emotions have some really specific vocabulary.
Yes, and this is important because fear and anxiety are different. Fear is usually about something specific and immediate, a spiner, a scary movie, a dangerous situation. Anxiety is more general, more about uncertainty and what might happen.
Perfect distinction. For fear, you've got a range: scared, afraid, frightened, terrified, petrified. What's the difference between, say, scared and terrified?
Scared is general fear. I'm scared of heights. Terrified is extreme, paralyzing fear. I'm terrified of losing my job. You can barely function when you're terrified.
And petrified is even stronger. It literally means turned to stone. She was petrified when she heard footsteps behind her in the dark alley. You're frozen, unable to move.
For anxiety, the vocabulary shifts. You might feel nervous, anxious, worried, uneasy, or on edge. These all describe that uncomfortable feeling about the future or uncertainty.
Nervous is what you feel before a presentation or a first date. Butterflies in your stomach, slight tension. I'm nervous about meeting her parents.
Anxious is deeper and more persistent. I've been feeling anxious about money lately. It sticks with you. It's harder to shake off.
Worried focuses on specific concerns. I'm worried about my exam results. Your mind keeps returning to that specific thing.
And on edge means you're jumpy, easily startled, tense. I've been on edge all week waiting for the news. You're in a state of heightened alertness that's exhausting.
Now, here's something fascinating. We have these wonderful words that express mixed or complex emotions. Let's explore a few. Carlos, what does bittersweet mean?
Oh, I love this word. Bittersweet describes something that's simultaneously happy and sad. Like graduating from school, you're excited for the future but sad to leave friends behind. It's joy mixed with sorrow.
Perfect example. Or when you watch your child leave for college, you're proud and happy for their independence, but also sad because you'll miss them. Bittersweet.
Another complex one, ambivalent. This means having mixed feelings, being pulled in two directions. I feel ambivalent about the job offer. The salary is great, but I'd have to relocate.
Yes, you're not purely happy or purely unhappy, you're genuinely torn. And here's one that's super useful in professional context: apprehensive.
Apprehensive means anxious or fearful about something that's going to happen, but with an element of hesitation. I'm apprehensive about the new system. I'm not sure it's going to work.
It's more sophisticated than just worried or nervous. If you use apprehensive in a meeting, people immediately recognize you're expressing a thoughtful concern, not just panic.
Exactly. Now let's talk about something really practical, how to ask people about their emotions in a way that actually gets honest answers.
Yes, because how are you usually just gets fine thanks, even when people aren't fine.
Right. So if you genuinely want to know how someone's doing, try these alternatives. How are you feeling today? The word feeling invites emotional honesty.
Or, how are you holding up? This one's perfect when you know someone's going through a difficult time. It acknowledges that things might be tough.
What's on your mind is great for when someone seems distracted or preoccupied. It opens the door for them to share what's bothering them.
And if someone seems off, you can say, "You seem emotion. Is everything okay?" For example, "You seem stressed. Is everything okay?" Or, "You seem down. Want to talk about it?"
That's thoughtful and specific. You're naming what you observe, which shows you're paying attention. Now, how about responding when someone shares their emotions with you?
This is so important. When someone says, "I'm really stressed about work," don't just say, "Oh," and change the subject. Validate their feelings first.
Give us some good validation phrases.
"That sounds really challenging. I can understand why you'd feel that way. That must be tough. I'd feel the same way in your situation."
These are gold. You're acknowledging their emotion without trying to immediately fix it or dismiss it, because sometimes people just need to be heard.
Exactly. And here's what not to do. Don't say things like, "Just don't worry about it," or "You're overreacting," or "It's not that bad." These invalidate their feelings and shut down communication.
Terrible responses. Even if you think they're overreacting, that's not helpful in the moment. Better to say, I hear you, or that sounds frustrating.
Now, let's talk about a game-changing skill, using intensifiers and softeners to adjust the strength of your emotional expression.
Oh, this is key for sounding natural. Explain intensifiers first.
Intensifiers make emotions stronger. Words like really, so, extremely, incredibly, absolutely, totally. Instead of I'm happy, you say I'm really happy, or I'm so happy, or I'm incredibly happy.
And each one adds a different flavor. Really is everyday and natural. Incredibly is more dramatic. Absolutely is emphatic and certain.
Right, and you can stack them in certain combinations. I'm so incredibly proud of you, or I'm really quite worried about this.
Now, softeners work the opposite way. They make emotions less intense, which is useful when you don't want to sound overdramatic or when you're being polite.
Softeners include a bit, a little, slightly, somewhat, kind of, sort of. So instead of I'm angry, which might sound aggressive, you could say I'm a bit frustrated or I'm slightly annoyed.
This is especially useful in professional settings. I'm a bit concerned about the timeline sounds way better than I'm worried about the timeline in a work meeting.
Absolutely. And British English uses softeners constantly. It's part of the politeness culture. Americans use them too, but maybe slightly less frequently.
Haha, see what you did there? Slightly less frequently. You just used a softener.
Exactly. It's so ingrained I don't even notice. Now let's talk about physical sensations that accompany emotions, because describing these makes your English incredibly vivid and natural.
Yes, when you say my heart was pounding or I got butterflies in my stomach, you're painting a picture that everyone can relate to.
Right. For nervousness or anxiety, butterflies in my stomach, my palms were sweaty, my heart was racing, my mouth went dry, I felt lightheaded.
For anger, my blood was boiling. I saw red. My fists clenched. My face got hot. I felt my jaw tighten.
For fear, my heart stopped. I froze. My hair stood on end. I got goosebumps. A chill ran down my spine. My legs turned to jelly.
And for embarrassment, my face turned red. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. I couldn't look anyone in the eye. I felt my cheeks burning.
These phrases are so powerful because they're universal. Everyone knows what butterflies in your stomach feels like, even if they speak different languages.
Exactly, and they make your storytelling way more engaging. Compare I was nervous versus I was so nervous my hands were shaking and I could barely speak.
Night and day difference. The second one puts us right there with you in that moment. Now we should cover some idioms related to emotions because native speakers use these constantly.
Good call. Let's start with positive emotion idioms. On cloud nine means extremely happy. When she got engaged, she was on cloud nine for weeks.
Over the moon is similar. Thrilled, delighted, very British, but used everywhere. They're over the moon about the new baby.
Walking on air suggests you're so happy you're floating. After acing his exam, he was walking on air.
For negative emotions, down in the dumps means sad or depressed. He's been down in the dumps since his team lost.
At the end of my rope or at my wit's end means you've reached your limit. You're extremely frustrated and don't know what to do anymore. I'm at the end of my rope with this situation.
Bent out of shape means upset or annoyed. Don't get bent out of shape about it. It's not that serious.
And here's a useful one, a mixed bag of emotions, or an emotional roller coaster, for when you're experiencing many different feelings rapidly.
Perfect for complex situations. Planning the wedding has been an emotional roller coaster. Excitement, stress, joy, anxiety, all at once.
Now let's talk about something subtle but important, the difference between feeling an emotion and being in an emotional state.
Ooh, good distinction. Explain this.
When you say, I feel frustrated, that's acknowledging a temporary emotion. When you say, I am a frustrated person, that's defining yourself by that emotion, making it part of your identity.
Right. I feel anxious today is very different from I am an anxious person. One is a passing state, the other is a characteristic.
In general, it's psychologically healthier and more accurate to say I feel blank rather than I am blank. Emotions are temporary, they're not your entire identity.
That's actually profound advice beyond just language learning. Okay, now let's give people some practical sentence patterns they can use immediately.
Great idea. Pattern 1, I feel blank when blank. Example, I feel grateful when people remember small details about me.
Pattern 2, it makes me blank when blank. Example, it makes me frustrated when people interrupt me.
Pattern 3, blank makes me feel blank. Example, loud chewing makes me annoyed.
Pattern 4, I've been feeling blank lately because of blank. I've been feeling overwhelmed lately because of my workload.
Pattern 5, I can't help feeling blank about blank. Example, I can't help feeling disappointed about the cancellation.
And here's an advanced one. Part of me feels emotion, but part of me feels different emotion. This is perfect for expressing conflicting emotions.
Love it. Part of me feels excited about the move, but part of me feels anxious about leaving my friends.
Exactly. That pattern makes you sound thoughtful and emotionally aware. Now, Carlos, let's do some real-life practice scenarios. I'll describe a situation and you tell me the emotion and how you'd express it.
Perfect. Hit me.
Scenario 1. You studied really hard for an exam. You were confident going in, but when you see your grade, it's much lower than expected.
Oh no. Okay, I would feel disappointed, maybe even crushed. I might say I'm really disappointed with my grade. I put in so much effort and I honestly thought I'd do better. It's pretty discouraging.
Excellent. You used disappointed, crushed, and discouraging, 3 related but distinct words. And notice how you explain the context, which makes the emotion clearer.
Right. Your turn. Scenario 2. Your friend promises to help you move apartments. The day before the move, they cancel via text with no real explanation.
Oof, that's rough. I'd feel frustrated and hurt, maybe a bit betrayed. I might say, I'm really frustrated that you canceled last minute, especially over text. Honestly, I feel a bit hurt because I was counting on you, and moving is really stressful.
Perfect response. You named multiple emotions, frustrated, hurt, betrayed, and you explained why. That's authentic communication.
Okay, scenario 3. You've been applying for jobs for months with no success. Today, you finally get an interview invitation.
Oh, that's an easy one. I'd be thrilled. I'd probably say, I'm so relieved and excited. I was starting to feel discouraged, but this interview invitation just made my whole week. I'm really hopeful about this opportunity.
Love it. You used relieved, excited, discouraged, and hopeful, showing the emotional journey, not just the current feeling.
Exactly. Emotions don't exist in isolation. They're part of a story. Scenario 4 for you. You're at a party where you don't know anyone except the person who invited you, and they've been talking to other people the whole time.
Oh, I hate that. I would feel uncomfortable, maybe a bit awkward and left out. I might also feel slightly annoyed at my friend. I'd say, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable here. I don't know anyone, and I feel a bit left out since you've been busy with other people. I'm not upset with you, but I'm definitely ready to leave.
That's honest without being accusatory. You expressed multiple emotions and a clear need. That's mature communication.
Thanks. Okay, here's an important topic we haven't covered yet. Cultural differences in expressing emotions.
Yes, this is crucial because emotional expression varies wildly across cultures, and what's normal in one culture might seem excessive or cold in another.
Right. Generally speaking, American culture is relatively open about positive emotions. It's common to express enthusiasm, excitement, happiness pretty freely.
Absolutely. Americans might say, I'm so excited about relatively small things, a new coffee flavor, a TV show, whatever. In some cultures, that level of enthusiasm might seem over the top.
British culture tends to be more understated, especially with positive emotions. They might say, I'm quite pleased when they're actually thrilled, or that's not bad when they think something is excellent.
Right, the famous British understatement. And many Asian cultures value emotional restraint, especially in public or professional settings. Expressing strong emotions openly might be seen as unprofessional or immature.
So, as an English learner, it's worth observing the people around you in your specific context. Are they expressive or reserved? Match that general level while still being authentic.
Good advice. And remember, in professional English-speaking environments, meetings, emails, presentations, it's usually better to err on the side of restraint. You can be enthusiastic without being over the top.
Definitely. Saying, I'm pleased with these results sounds professional. Saying, I'm absolutely ecstatic about these numbers might be too much for a board meeting.
Unless the numbers are truly extraordinary and everyone else is celebrating. Context is everything.
Always. Now, let's talk about a skill that really separates intermediate learners from advanced ones. Being able to talk about other people's emotions with nuance.
Oh, this is good. So instead of just she was happy, you can say things like she seemed genuinely delighted or she appeared to be over the moon.
Exactly. And you can use phrases like, he looked emotion, she sounded emotion, they seemed emotion, I could tell he was emotion.
These show you're observing and interpreting, not just reporting facts. I could tell she was anxious because she kept checking her phone is much richer than just she was anxious.
Right, and you can express uncertainty. He seemed a bit upset, though he tried to hide it. Or, I got the impression she was disappointed.
I got the impression is sophisticated. It shows you're making an informed guess, not stating a definite fact.
Another useful structure, if I had to guess, I'd say emotion. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say he's feeling overwhelmed by all the attention.
Nice. And here's an advanced move, describing how someone's emotion changed. She went from excited to nervous when she heard the details, or his mood shifted from cheerful to somber.
Ooh, somber is a great vocabulary word. It means serious, sad, and thoughtful, often used for grave situations. The mood in the room became somber when we heard the news.
Beautiful word. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. Let's do a comprehensive practice round. I'll give you complex situations and you show me how to talk about them with rich emotional vocabulary.
Ready when you are.
Situation. Your best friend from childhood is moving to another country. You're at the airport saying goodbye.
Okay, this is complex because it's multiple emotions at once. I might say, I'm feeling so many things right now. I'm genuinely happy for you because this is an amazing opportunity and I know you'll thrive there. But honestly, I'm also heartbroken that you're leaving. We've been through so much together, and it's hard to imagine not having you nearby. I'm trying to be strong and supportive, but part of me just wants to be selfish and ask you to stay. I guess what I'm feeling most is bittersweet, joy for your new adventure mixed with sadness about the distance.
That is phenomenal. You expressed happiness, heartbreak, internal conflict, and named the complex emotion bittersweet. That's exactly how a native speaker would articulate something this emotionally layered.
Thanks. Your turn. Situation. You've prepared a presentation for weeks. During the presentation, the technology fails repeatedly. People seem distracted and your manager looks unimpressed.
Oh no, that's a nightmare. Here's how I'd talk about it. I was absolutely mortified when the technology kept failing. I rehearsed everything perfectly and suddenly nothing was working. I felt so frustrated and flustered. My carefully planned presentation was falling apart. I could feel my face getting hot from embarrassment every time something went wrong. What made it worse was seeing people checking their phones and my manager's expression, which made me feel even more anxious and self-conscious. By the end, I was just relieved it was over, but I also felt really dejected because I'd worked so hard and it went so poorly. I'm trying not to beat myself up about it, but it's difficult.
Wow, you used mortified, frustrated, flustered, embarrassed, anxious, self-conscious, relieved, and dejected. 8 different emotion words, all perfectly appropriate. And you included physical sensations and observations. That's masterful.
Thank you. This is what we want everyone listening to aim for, not just naming one emotion, but expressing the full complexity of what you're experiencing.
Absolutely. Because real life is messy and complicated, and our emotions reflect that. Okay, final situation, and this one's positive. You've been working toward a major goal for years, maybe fitness, education, career, whatever, and you finally achieve it.
Take it away.
All right. When I finally crossed that finish line, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I felt this incredible rush of pride and accomplishment. Like all those early mornings, all the setbacks, all the doubt, it all finally paid off. I was elated, genuinely ecstatic. My hands were shaking from adrenaline and emotion. But there was also this unexpected wave of relief. I hadn't realized how much pressure I'd been carrying until it was suddenly gone. And underneath it all, I felt deeply grateful for everyone who supported me along the way. It's hard to put into words, but if I had to choose one word, I'd say I felt triumphant. Not in an arrogant way, but in a I did something really difficult and I'm proud of myself way.
That's beautiful, Maya. You captured the complexity, the pride, elation, relief, gratitude, and that sense of triumph. And you were even thoughtful enough to clarify that triumphant wasn't meant arrogantly. That shows real emotional intelligence.
Thank you. And that's really the goal here, not just to have a bigger vocabulary, but to communicate with precision and authenticity.
Exactly. So let's wrap up with some key takeaways. First, expand beyond basic emotion words. Don't just use happy, sad, and angry for everything.
Second, remember the ed versus ing distinction. You are bored. The thing is boring. You are interested. The thing is interesting.
Third, use intensifiers and softeners to adjust the strength of your emotional expression appropriately for the situation.
Fourth, describe physical sensations that accompany emotions. It makes your communication vivid and relatable.
Fifth, learn common idioms and phrases related to emotions because native speakers use them constantly in casual conversation.
Sixth, practice expressing complex or mixed emotions. Life isn't simple, and your emotional vocabulary shouldn't be either.
And finally, observe how emotions are expressed in the English-speaking environment you're in. Cultural context matters.
Before we go, we have a question for you. Think about your week. What's one strong emotion you experienced and what caused it? Try to use specific vocabulary we covered today.
Write it in the comments. We read every single one, and it's great practice for you. Don't just write, I was happy. Challenge yourself. I was thrilled when, or I felt frustrated because. Give us details.
And if you found this lesson helpful, please like this video and subscribe to Talk Maya. We create lessons like this to help you communicate naturally and confidently in real-life situations.
Every subscribe, every like, every comment helps us reach more learners and create more content. So thank you for being here and for investing in your English skills.
Remember, talking about emotions isn't just about vocabulary, it's about connection, understanding, and authentic human communication.
Keep practicing, keep expressing, and keep being authentically you in English.
We'll see you in the next lesson.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.